McKinney is fast growing. It's the big highway, we call it, one way from Jersey to Texas. This community started in a tire shop. A lot of our community is actually less than 3 years or less. How open and welcoming across the DFW Masjid people have been. A lot of money that's going to be poured into McKinney. I think it's a great opportunity to become the next big masjid, inshallah. Family is the most important thing. Dallas fit the bill.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Taha Khan. I am a McKinney resident and part of the Shura and the executive board here as a vice emir, one of 6 people that run the affairs of the masjid, alhamdulillah. I moved into the area about 3 years ago, brought up in New Jersey, so I'm a East Coast guy, but alhamdulillah have found the McKinney community to be a home away from home. The community was established in 1997, so it is about more than 25 years at this point. So our elders have done an amazing job in bringing it to alhamdulillah where we are now. I have to give a shout out to our elders, Professor Atiq Rahman, Brother Musa Abu Darbis, and others who have really done a lot for this community. Alhamdulillah, they're still with us and they're still part of the community. May Allah preserve them. But 1997 is what I'm told. This community started in a tire shop. Our elders at the time saw a need to get maybe 10, 15, 20 people together for Jummah. Lo and behold, one of our elders who owned a garage at the time said, look, this shop for this time to this time, I'm going to clear out and this is going to be our Jummah space. And it was literally behind a tire shop. And that was 1997. And as alhamdulillah Muslims are, we started flocking and 10 became 20, 20 became 40. And a couple of years later, the community moved into like a 1-story basement kind of a building, not too far from here in this current masjid. When we thought that could sustain the community, alhamdulillah, that was several good years until the community saw a massive growth again. This was a 2012 project where you're standing right now in this masjid. This was built in 2012 with the hopes that this will sustain for a long time. And it's only been 11 years, but the growth of the community has been exponential. And we are at the moment at 3 Jummahs in this masjid that are all packed. So we have well over 1,100 people that are attending Jummahs every Friday. Quite a show that we have to manage logistics in a limited space. So we have a land that we have purchased now, alhamdulillah. Our elders have guided us to that, almost a 5.5 acre land. It is paid off, but our next big project is to build that new masjid. It's about 6 minutes from here in McKinney. We are very excited for the project. Plan is for hopefully over 40,000 square feet of space. Like I said, we're thinking big because McKinney will be big. McKinney is fast growing. It is the 4th fastest growing city in the United States at the moment. So we have a ton of new families, young families with kids who are here for decades, looking ahead at decades, inshallah. So our goal now is to establish this community, inshallah, for that purpose and to grow it as much as we can. A lot of our community is actually less than 3 years or less into moving to McKinney. So you can see a lot of new faces, alhamdulillah, that are coming, and a lot of them, like us, come for many reasons, one of them being a strong Muslim community. Many people that I talk to and ask the same question, they say, I came here for better Muslim community and a stronger Muslim community. I think, COVID gave a lot of perspective to a lot of people. The crowded urban centers that we have in California and in New York and Chicago, a lot of people rethought about their life and how they can live maybe a little differently. And so for us, it was about space. It was about a Muslim community. It was about the outdoors and the weather. And so Dallas fit the bill, alhamdulillah. I do think we are much closer to the community here and more involved than we were in Jersey. I think, Muslims, mashallah, are doing great work wherever they are, but the dynamics tend to be a little different in very established communities versus new and upcoming communities. So to be a part of a community where a lot of people want to meet, bond, because we're all sort of new and in the same boat, I think it's a very different vibe to reaching out and making new friends versus perhaps more established communities where people have been there for decades and their parents were there and their grandparents were there. Perhaps that vibe is a little different. But for me, that's been the biggest revelation, is how open and welcoming across the DFW Masjid people have been. I have seen a ton of old friends from Jersey that I see here, and I say, oh, you moved here as well, alhamdulillah. It's the big highway, we call it, one way from Jersey to Texas that a lot of people are taking. We see a lot of Jersey, New York, Chicago, California, Seattle, from pretty much the coastal areas and the Chicago area that have made Dallas their new home. McKinney is now on the cusp of massive explosive growth. McKinney sits right in the center of main established areas. People are familiar with Plano. Allen is up and coming. We're familiar with Frisco. But then you have sort of this whole growth towards the northeast of Dallas, which is completely unexplored, and there's a lot of land where people are building homes and a massive vision to commercialize the district as well in McKinney. I would urge, whoever's watching this, definitely check out Vision 2040 that McKinney Council has outlined. And there is a lot of money that's going to be poured into McKinney, a lot of business, and that's going to attract a lot of Muslim families as well. So we are receiving traffic from north, south, east, and west. There is a major airport planned here in McKinney in a few years. And so for us, I think it's a great opportunity to sort of become the next big masjid, inshallah ta'ala, because we'll have a large population to cater to in just a few years. Majority of people that are coming in, the musallin, the brothers and sisters, are very much in their late 20s, early 30s, maybe even 40s for sure. So you see that dynamic that is raising kids, and family is the most important thing. And so what we're trying to do is cater our programs towards the youth, toward parents, fathers, and mothers, towards forming a strong family unit, because ultimately, if the family is strong, society will be strong. That is our bread and butter. We have to cater to our seniors as well, who have done so much for our foundation. But it's on us as the next generation to think forward and take it forward, inshallah. The society we're living in, as you know, it's the trials and the challenges are only growing. When I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, you can argue the world was a very different place to what my kids who are 6 and 5 are growing up in. And so it is an amana that we have to fulfill to our next generation, inshallah. We're sitting in the main hall at the moment. Blueprint was designed back in 2010. This particular land is 1 acre. Again, it's not the biggest in the world, but alhamdulillah, it serves our purposes for the moment. So this is the main hall. This is where the brothers congregate and pray. This is where a lot of our activities happen. We do have school programs as well, Quran and Hifz program, as well as Maktab or Islamic Studies. So this is where the minbar is, and then we do have a sister section. This serves as sort of our library at the moment. Alhamdulillah, there are brothers and sisters who keep up with Islamic literature, and we try to grow this. As we have more space, part of our vision is to have a dedicated library for our youth and our community. So at capacity, we can accommodate, according to the code, about 402 people. When we fit in, we can probably do well over 500 here, and that's counting both halls, but it gets tight. Our need probably at the moment is, at any given time, more than 1,000 to 1,100 people. So that's why we have to split a lot of our
That's right now, but every day thousands of Muslims are moving to...
100%. The migration rate is, I can't quote you numbers, but it's pretty astronomical. And so I wouldn't be surprised someday where we're looking at 1,500 at one time that we need to cater to.
And brother, since you've moved, you feel the difference?
100 and 1,000%, if I can even put it that way. I wish we could have some shots from Ramadan this year. We had a total of 12 community iftars. Pretty much every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we had community iftars here. And you should have seen the place was alive. It's buzzing with chit-chat, with dhikr of Allah, with the Quran, with just smiles and hugs. And it's a lot of new faces that are bringing that love, and the ones who have been here are accepting them. So it's such a lovely, lively community. And I think being small to medium-sized helps us in many ways, because we all get to know each other pretty quickly. If you have a new face, it's not hard to know that face, whereas in some big masajid, it takes a little bit of time to get integrated.
Well, you were talking about the community.
Sure.
Mashallah, the genuine smile that I saw from your face, it tells that how much you appreciate.
100%. It's an honor to serve, but that's really what it is for us. So it's a responsibility, but it's a huge privilege as well. So this is our sister section. Again, it serves multiple purposes. We have classes here with our religious director. Alhamdulillah, we have one running at the moment, and so we have classes. This also primarily serves as the sisters' prayer area, but this serves as the audio visual for the sisters. We're packing it in. Alhamdulillah, I think we can do well over about 100 to 150 is what I'm told. We do have a kids room as well in the back that serves for the mothers with young kids, alhamdulillah. So we have TVs, and we typically keep this for the kids, so that way they have some space. Children under 6, we would love for a version of this to have in the father section as well, because dads are a big part of the community.
Yes, absolutely.
So inshallah, that's also part of the plan. So if we use this for prayer, probably 40, I would say, would be comfortable in here.
They have their own privacy.
Yes, exactly. So our job is to make sure everyone feels included. And like I said, our demographic is young families. So you're going to have babies, you're going to have kids in the masjid, and we need to cater to that. So,
yeah,
alhamdulillah.
If this is happening here already, a new masjid, it will be
100%. We have plans for dad's room, mom's room, and youth specific areas, inshallah. So, and then we have a kitchen actually that serves a big purpose for us for Ramadan and all sorts of events where we bring in food. Inshallah, well over 270 parking spots. Right now we have 46. We're going to be talking to the architect. We've already started that in terms of the direction for the Qibla and all of that.
Yeah.
So you can see that's how it's positioned, alhamdulillah. And then if you wanted to take a quick peek at the floor plans, we have a gym. So that gym alone, I think it's about 15,000 square feet, or 10 to 15. That's quite large.
When are you expecting it?
We are working in phases. 4 to 5 years, we're in the new building, inshallah. So right now it's very early to say. But our main ask and call for help is around funding. Yeah. And that's really what we're looking at. I think we've spoken a fair bit about the need for a strong Muslim community in this area. We have tons of Muslims moving in. Many of the Muslims, unfortunately, we're not able to accommodate a lot of people because of parking issues. 45 spots is nothing. We are constantly running into some issues, and you can say friction with our surrounding neighbors where, parking, especially for Jama'ah and for our events where we are inviting, alhamdulillah, the shuyukh of the area to educate the community. People want to come. When we have to make people walk 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes from a parking spot, it really turns people off. And so we want to accommodate our seniors, our elders, our fathers and mothers and youth, inshallah. And the biggest appeal is whatever you can do to contribute towards the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I can say this with a fair bit of confidence. This masjid, this new masjid, will continue to serve a very fast growing community for decades and decades to come. This is not a few years we're thinking 50, 60 years down the line when my kids and your kids are leading the community. What do they have at their disposal? And so our elders gave us, alhamdulillah, this to stand on. We want to multiply this 10, 20 times and give it to our kids to lead, inshallah, the Muslim community in the future. So we're looking at a couple million project at least, but it all starts with small baby steps. So consistent but regular, and if I can share a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he advised the Sahaba, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ, that indeed the most beloved of actions to Allah are those that are consistent even if they're small. And so whatever donations are coming in or help that's coming in towards the new masjid, my only ask is you make it a regular thing. Sign up for our donation programs. We have those running. It's $20 a month, $25 a month. And before you know it, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put that as the reason for your entrance into Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la, inshallah ta'ala. So the main page is our McKinneymasjid.org. We have a donation link there. We do have other platforms as well, but that's the easiest way is McKinneymasjid.org. You'll see a donate button, big and prominent on our website, and you can select all sorts of buckets, but the new masjid is one of those categories, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair.